Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity. Superfluity, I don't know how they pronounce that one. That's one of those funny words. But the super is something over and beyond. And the thing is exercised like it shouldn't be exercised. Lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of things you don't have to say, but you go ahead and add them anyway. Of naughtiness. Get the dirt out of your speech. You don't have to go into dirt in order to say something and put it down. You can say it without getting super about it. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness. Notice how the word you use, it means nothing, naught. You see the naught there? Words degenerate. You take some of the words you use now, weren't you like they were used when they first showed up? And this is a good example here. When you see naughtiness now, you think about a bad little boy or girl. But naughtiness means nothingness. Naught. It is naught. It is nothing. Superfluity. Don't add a lot of stuff you don't have to add because it doesn't make any sense. And receive with meekness. Instead of showing off your vocabulary and your knowledge of Greek and Hebrew, receive with meekness the engrafted word. Underline it, which is able to save your souls. Aimed at the 12 tribes. That isn't aimed at a born-again Christian. That's aimed at the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. You say, how do you know? Look at the first verse of the epistle. The scholars don't. They don't understand it, so they change it. What they do is change it around to where they can understand it, and they think that's going to help you. It's going to make a liar out of God. With meekness the engrafted word which is able to save your souls. Be ye therefore doers of the word, and not hearers only. Works. Look at that thing. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. It's saying the man's work doesn't accompany his profession of faith, and he's supposed to have gotten saved. You're kidding yourself. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Now, you see how they keep trying to get rid of that and make that Pauline, the gospel by which you're saved, and it's not the thing, what he said so far is not what Paul was saying at all. He never told anybody, be a doer of the word and not a hearer only, but deceiving yourselves. He said, by grace are you saved through faith, and to him that worketh not, but believeth on the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness. That is what James said. He said you got to be a doer of the word. And if you're not that, you're not righteous. And I suppose you're not saved. But ye be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourself. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like a man beholding his natural face in a glass. This is not a description of a saved man at all. This is a description of a fellow thinks he's saved, and he's not. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, there's the works. That isn't Pauline epistle. That isn't Romans. That isn't 2 Corinthians. They're not the same. And you can't make them the same unless you're crooked. He is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. What's that like? That's the word. It's like a mirror. Now we see through a glass darkly, Paul says, but then face to face. Reading that book then is like looking in a mirror, and what do? You see a reflection of yourself. Verse 24, for he beholdeth himself. And then he says, and he goeth his way, puts down the book, and quits looking at it, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was, what? According to the book. Now, read that thing and get that thing right. If any man is a hearer of the word, verse 22, but be doers of the word. He got the word, and he got it and he heard it, and you're not just to be just a hearer, but a doer. And then he says, for if he behold himself in the glass and goeth away, and then doesn't do anything, straightway he forgets what manner of man he was. The Bible's like a mirror. It always keeps up with you. It goes with you. A mirror grows with you. It isn't like a picture, a photograph you get of yourself and put up there in the pulpit, or put it there in the fireplace. As each year passes, the mirror keeps up with you. And when you look at it, it's always just as old as you are. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. Well, what manner of man was he? He was a sinner. And he was without hope and without God. And that's what the book revealed to him. And that's why the Word can save you, because the Word reveals what you are. And what you are, says here, and in the Pauline epistles, you were alone in the world without hope and without God. That's the condition of an unsaved man. So in here in James, you got it written to an unsaved, one of the 12 tribes, who has kidded himself into thinking he's getting saved when he's not. For he beholdeth himself and goeth away, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. He thinks he's all right when the book just told him he wasn't. And it's clear from reading the book exactly what man is. Cursed is the man who trusts in man, and whose heart departs from the Lord. It's perfectly clear what man is. Christ did not commit himself to any man because he knew what was in man. It's perfectly apparent what you are that you don't think you are. You got a heart that is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. And all our righteousness are as filthy rags. That's what the book told you about yourself. And that was the word that's going to save you. If you get saved, you're going to get saved by believing what he said about you, what manner of man you were. And if you throw the book out the window, you're going to forget it. And you'll start telling yourself you're better than you are. Boy, do educated people have a trouble with that. I mean, you just can't get them to believe they have a need. I've been over to Germany 5 times, Austria a couple of times, and I notice in dealing with German people, you have the most terrible time convincing them that they need to be saved. You can't convince them they're lost. And most of them are more polite than Americans, and they'll listen to what you say, and they'll talk with you, and some of them will argue with you without getting mad. But they cannot believe that they're in the condition the book says they're in. Quote, every man at his best state, are you listening to me? As they say, my beloved and my friend, I'm coming at you with the truth, I'm not trying to get some votes from you. Every man at his best state is what? Can you finish it? Have you got a 6th grade and you can't finish that? Do you mean to tell me you can go to school for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years and don't know what a man is? Because they wouldn't let you bring a Bible to school? Every man, did you hear what I said? Every man, I didn't write that thing. Every man at his best state is what? I bet some of you don't even know, do you? You've forgotten what manner of man you are according to the book. I'll tell you what you are according to the book. Quote, every man at his best state is altogether vanity. For I know that in my flesh dwelleth no good thing. Is that what you thought? That's what not what's in the newspapers. That's not what on the news broadcast. That is what the news media puts out. They don't say that. They don't say every man at his best state is altogether vanity, and your flesh dwelleth no good thing. They make you think everything's just fine. And you forget what manner of man you are. How do you do it? Just throw the Bible out. 25.